another talk on my channel. I'm Cornelius Vango. Obviously, I'm sure most of you can read because you found your way. So I'm a little bit late today because it just dumped a fuck ton of rain. I'm like still dripping a little bit. So there was a few things that I had to do around this space to just kind of keep things dry and safe. So yeah, and then I was doing a little bit of maintenance on a couple of other things, and I was like, yeah, I'm keeping track of time. I'm really super good at knowing how much time has passed. And then I was like, okay, I better get in the library and check the time because it's probably getting close. And then I opened my phone and I was like, oh, wow, it's already 12:06. So, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at right now. Welcome to the stream. So I took a little break yesterday because of, I'm sure you understand the heaviness of the last live stream. I just needed a little bit of like a personal day, which I had. Actually, no. You know what's fucked up is I didn't. I actually spent the entire day, well, talking to folks from Flamingo Camp, trying to facilitate conversations, and I also spent a lot of time, going over all the screenshots that I've received and information. And I actually received new information during my stream about the Poe case. Oh shit. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb before I get any further. Hold on. Because I'm gonna be real, I'm still blowing up after that whole shit. I think that not a lot of people realize like that there really was no adult in the room on this case, that like that nobody was really taking charge and doing things. And in to segue into the topic today, that's actually one of the big problems with collectives and anarchists and these anarchist collective spaces, because everybody kind of just assumes that somebody else is running the show, and nobody wants to take responsibility or accountability, but everybody wants to take credit. So it's like this is a common theme among communities that are more leftist leaning, anarchist oriented. Nobody wants to tell anybody what to do. Nobody wants to like act like an authority on things, and people get like really touchy about it, and that leaves a lot of space for people who don't have the spaces or the community's best interest in mind to take advantage of situations and make things go in their favor, rather than bringing in effort and time and energy to enriching the space as a whole for all the people involved in the collective. And a lot of people are only interested in being involved when times are good and fun and happy, and then when there's like some real shit going down or something to take care of, they just cut and run. And I think that there's a value in giving space for people who are not interested in leadership roles or hands-on roles within an anarchist collective, but it's also really important to have boundaries so that they can't pretend that they are doing something for the space or they are running shit, because that's what happens when they're unchecked. They'll just go and raid the fridge and leave tools out and leave a mess, and then hang around acting like they're hot shit. And then when people who are less familiar with the space come in, they don't know how shit's run, and of course they see this person, standing around acting like they did something for the space, and then they just kind of just accept like, oh yeah, this person is somebody that I need to defer to, or like whatever. I see it all the time, actually. And I pretty much solely exist in anarchist spaces, except when I'm sitting in like a bar, a coffee shop or something. I'm pretty much almost always in anarchist spaces. And, there's something to be said about call-out culture, which is basically like, you're toxic. Everybody don't listen to this person. That's cancel culture. But like, if somebody's, as an example, this is something that happened, well, I don't know if I'm going to reference that. As an example, let's say that somebody is coming into the space and they're like touching people's stuff and moving stuff around that other people are actively working on, and like, yeah, like I said, raiding the fridge, like going in the fridge and fucking drinking other people's LaCroix or whatever the fuck, or whatever. They come in and just cause damage to people's personal items, and then they like raid the fridge, and then tell other people what to do, but they don't actually know what's going on in the space. They don't know like who's working on what. That's something to be called out and make other people aware. And people need to be able to address problematic behavior without feeling like they're going to be ostracized by other people for it, without being called like a buzzkill or something. Because it's really easy to cultivate a space that's more cohesive to mindless hedonism and to people that aren't really pulling their own weight. Like, I think a lot of people will just come into an anarchist space with absolutely no background in collectivism and community, or even like a functioning big family. Like me, I grew up in a big family, and I have fuck tons of cousins and relatives and family friends, like both aunts and uncles, and then aunts and uncles, you know what I mean? And so like from an early age, well, since I was fucking born, I was really familiar with how to exist in a household with a lot of other people, with a lot of things happening, like certain people like to hang out in the garden and the kitchen and work on those things, and that's where you'll find them, and they just take care of those things. And some people will go out to their offices and work for money to bring back home to the household so that the people can buy the food to cook in the kitchen. And some people will are more like community oriented. They'll organize fun games that everybody can play together and and have fun. Like some people are just really good at that. They'll come up with like scavenger hunts and events and stuff. And some people are really handy, so you'll find them in the garage all the time, that sort of thing. And it's really nice. But some people don't have that kind of background, and they don't know what a functioning collective looks like. They just see all the good things around, and they think that it just kind of magically got there. I don't even think that they think that far. They're just like, oh, look at all these nice things. Why can't I have them? These people are hoarding resources, blah, blah, blah. But they don't think about how much effort it takes to put those things there, and who put them there, why they were put there, and what goes into maintaining that infrastructure so that they can have those nice things. They just see nice things and they're like, gimme, gimme, gimme. And that's not their fault, I guess. But there needs to be some kind of boundary between your average person wanting to come and benefit from a space and the people that actually maintain and run a space. So that's why I want to address today social hierarchies within anarchist spaces. I know it's a touchy subject. A lot of people, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what. A lot of people on the internet throw fucking fits about it, like internet anarchists talking about anarchism, which is, anyway. They throw a little fucking bitch fit when you want to talk about hierarchy and social roles within anarchy. They're like, ugh, anarchy means there's no hierarchies. You can't. No gods, no masters. Blah, blah, blah. And they get all super triggered and like butthurt about it. And I'm gonna be real. I have never fucking seen any of those people in actual anarchist collectives. I've never once fucking seen these fucking keyboard warriors getting their hands dirty in a space, helping other people. Literally never. They're just hiding on the internet behind their fucking little screens, getting triggered about the idea of somebody telling them what to do. Sorry, if that's you, then go fuck yourself and maybe read some theory, or go and volunteer with some sort of activist organization. Ooh, I said organization. Oh no, organization. It's so scary and fascist. Yeah, that's the thing. I could go on and on about fucking internet anarchists fucking getting triggered over semantics. It's a thing. It's a thing. Oh yeah, and the whole like anarchist versus communist sort of like internet narrative too. I ain't never seen that in real life. Like there's definitely some fundamental disagreements between anarchists and communists. Like, I'm not a fucking communist, obviously. I'm an anarchist. I don't know at this point specifically what type of anarchist. Perhaps in a few years when I do come up with the words, I'll write a thesis on it and create my own subsect of anarchy and anarchism. But for now, I'm just fumbling through the real world, seeing what works and what doesn't. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And you'll notice that I'm sitting in a beautiful library that I've been working on. And before I fucking sink my teeth into this, I'm gonna get my beverage. I actually am woefully underprepared for this live stream. I was literally like at the grocery store, ran back here. It started raining like fucking crazy. The streets flooded. I actually was worried that I wasn't going to be able to make it back in time and was going to be trapped outside of the space here. So, yeah, it was a little hectic. And then when I got back, it was just like, go, 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 go. Like, fucking get all these live cables out of these fucking puddles that are collecting around them and, batten down the hatches, as it were. And that's also in keeping with the topic today, too. Like, anyway, I'm gonna get my shit. Satan, move. Satan, no. Come here. Go on your spot. Go on your spot. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Satan's scared of thunder, so when there's like thunder outside, she acts really fucking stupid. And right now, she just keeps trying to like be underneath me, and that's just not gonna be sustainable right now. I can't have a dog like literally under my feet. It's just not happening. So yeah, she needs to find something else to be underneath. Hey Satan, come here. Look. Not, come here. You, here, look. Oh. Okay, that's fine. See, she likes to be... I mean, that's a pretty reasonable thing to want to do if you're like... If there's like thunder and shit, get underneath something big and... Yeah, so Satan's just a little zine troll right now, hiding in her little Satan cave. Okay. Yeah, where's all my shit? Usually before I do a stream, I take like a few minutes to get my shit all together, and I did not do that. Alright, hold on. One sec. Let me grab my shit. Okay. There it is. Okay, so where was I? I was oh, one of the problems that I've been running into in this space. Actually, I a little bit of a meltdown about it yesterday when I found out that there was actually like more to it than I realized. So I've been sorting the zines here. This is possibly, well, it's at least one of the largest anarchist zine collections in the US, if not the largest. And the problem is people don't really seem to know what they have here, or even if people do, there's like no real there's no real like leadership. Like people won't put their names or faces on like who's actually running the show. There's not a lot of transparency on like the overall goal of the collective. And it is summer, so a lot of people leave for the summer, so there's like kind of a vacuum of effort and energy here, and that's kind of one of the big reasons why I'm here right now, because of that. So it does run differently in the winter, or in the on season, but like, so if this isn't a metaphor for fucking anarchy, I don't know what is. So last time I was here, like back in February, I spent dozens of hours, countless hours, organizing this zine selection. And since I've been back, came back in July, and I was here for like all of July and half of August, or I will be here probably for half of, yeah, but what day is it? Holy shit. God, this month went fast. Yeah, about half of August. And I still haven't been able to like fix what was undone. So during the time that I was here, people came in to help, and they undid a lot of my work, and it's so frustrating. I'm still discovering new stuff, and it's you know, these folks came in here thinking that they could just have absolutely no frame of reference with the situation here, absolutely no background in working in libraries, or I mean, I'm sure some of them did. So, well, one of them did, but working in a bookstore, anarchist bookstore, but and just like that it magically came to be this way, and that they were doing something good by moving shit around without having a proper understanding of where we were at. So it's I'm at a point here where it's like, do I keep working on what I'm working on? And like, why would I if it's just going to get undone when I do it? It's like, you know, at this point, it's two steps forward, one step back. At least it's not worse than when I first started working in here. When I first started working in here, all the books were in boxes on the floor, and all of the zines were in boxes in the hallway, and the room was like, the floor was wet. There was no like carpets and stuff, and nobody maintaining it. And before I got here, there was a work party where people sorted a bunch of the book collection, but these were people that don't actually like frequent the space, and hadn't, like, they just kind of came in because they were like, oh, cool, an anarchist collective space where I can hang out, and it's and you know, it's cool and novel, and I have clout taking selfies in here or whatever the fuck. And a lot of them, well, I don't know who any of these people were that were doing this work party when the books were first being sorted, but a lot of books were removed from here and thrown out because these people didn't like the content. There was literally a couple of boxes of like classical philosophy and history that they deemed not worthy to be in this library because the authors were white men. And like, that's insane. A lot of, I mean, if we threw out all of the literature and all of the history and fucking books because they were written by white men, like, what would that accomplish? Like, there was like fucking Nietzsche and Sartre and fucking like Zeno books thrown out because they were white men. Like, I mean, I guess Zeno was like Greek or something, but like, that's nuts. That's holy shit. But like, in their minds, I'm sure they were like thinking that they were doing the right thing by making space for Black authors and like POC history, which is rad. But if you're gonna pitch books, like, fucking go through the fiction section or something. Like, go through the DIY section, because a lot of that is just like dated, you know, like or like some of the health books are really dated too, and it's not their fault for not knowing, but it's like, you wouldn't let somebody work on your car that doesn't know how to work on a car. Like, you're not gonna be like, you know, here's my car, you have good intentions, I need an oil change, please. And this person is like, oh, what's an oil change? And you were like, yo, you'll figure it out. Yeah, just like, I want like my fluids changed and shit. And this person's like, okay, I'll take out the fluids for you. And then they just like smash on the fucking radiator until fucking coolant comes out. You know what I mean? Like, that's nuts. And libraries are fucking, they're more complicated than a fucking vehicle. They're like, I would dare say 10 times as complex as a fucking engine, or maybe even I mean, I guess you can't really compare apples to oranges. What I'm trying to say is, organizing a functioning library is like a huge commitment, and it's a full-time commitment. And I'm not looking to take on that sort of full-time commitment. Right now, I've been here every day pretty much, and I'm still overwhelmed. And yeah, so I guess I'm just trying to figure out the proper way to bring these issues to the attention of people that are also involved in this space. I'm not interested in discussing ethereal ideas of anarchism. I'm interested in getting results. So in order to do that, I'm trying to come to terms with some things that I've learned. Now at Slab City Library, it took me basically being the catalyst to get shit done. I wrote up like it, and everybody understood that it was like my place, it was my house, and they had their own spaces within the yard that were their places where I could not tell them what to do if they were within their space. And like, I obviously wasn't going to tell them what to do anyway. My approach is always to be like, okay, here is what needs to be done, and here is what I'm going to do. If you would like to help, these are the ways that you can help, and give them like options. And pretty much everybody would be like, okay, I can handle that, or I can handle that, or I can handle these things. And I want to put in this amount of time and this amount of effort into the space. And with that kind of communication, then it's like, yo, cool, like, that's fine. You can put in 1 hour of work a day, and, you know, in exchange for that, you can have access to the kitchen. And, you know, otherwise, you can hang out in the library as long as you're doing like library stuff, you know. You can hang out in the library if you're like actively using it as a library, like reading books, working on art, or whatever. Or if you're trying to be like crew, then if you're in the library, you can be doing like that kind of thing, or you can be doing maintenance stuff like dusting bookshelves, sweeping, wiping down tables and surfaces, or like, you know, any other number of maintenance projects, digging holes out in the yard for whatever purpose, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then there would be some people that would stay in the space and pretty much just keep to themselves, which was fine. There was one person who basically did absolutely nothing for the library whatsoever, but they lived in the yard, and like hung out. At the time, it was fine because they weren't taking anything from the space either. They were just kind of doing their own thing, and they just needed a place to hang out and did that. And yeah, I never had a problem with it because they weren't coming into the space and taking from it. They were just kind of there. It's like a neutral entity. This person turned out to be an extremely shitty person. So definitely now my perspective has changed on that. Whereas before I like had absolutely no problem with them existing in that space, just like being a neutral entity. Now it's like, now that I'm thinking about it with that different lens, it's like, wow, I mean, they pretty much just like stayed in the yard rent free and had a shitter and didn't have to pay for their time there or like do literally anything. And they brought absolutely nothing to the space. I could have been using their dwelling space to house somebody that actually was bringing energy into the space. So yeah, now that's definitely changed my perspective. I was speaking with my friend who also ran or somewhat is running a space, and they were just like, we were just talking about, like how do you even approach setting boundaries, and when you have a certain amount of people within your space, like that you just bring in and they feel entitled to that space and they don't respect your wishes or your authority in a place that you facilitated and build. And then there's like suddenly a whole lot of them that have all decided that you're actually a piece of shit and that you have no authority there. That's like that's a mutiny. And like, how do you handle a mutiny, when all of your crew that you brought into the space just kind of like overturns you. That I've seen that happen in a few spaces. It's why it's really important to vet the people that you bring in. And after running the library for almost 7 years, like at first my approach was kind of like that, like, oh, you want to stay here? Sure, fuck yeah, come on in. And that did not end well. It started fine. It was really fun having a lot of people around. It was like, party every day. But then that's not sustainable. After a certain amount of time, that just implodes on itself and can become a very dangerous situation, as Flamingo Camp happened to go that way. It might be fun and cool for a little while, but yeah, after a certain amount of point, things get really out of hand, things get chaotic, and they just implode. That's the problem with this space that I'm in right now is that there's a lot of people that come in and use the space, but there's nobody taking responsibility for the effectiveness of the space, for the organization of the space. During the winter, there definitely were a few more hands-on people, but even then they were like really hesitant to even bring up issues. I think that there needs to be more transparency, and there needs to be like a way that people can openly speak to each other, like I said earlier, without fear of being ostracized or canceled for saying the wrong thing. A lot of people in leftist spaces just walk on eggshells constantly because they're afraid of, being called like authoritarian or yeah, whatever, yeah, or making people get all butthurt, and then they decide like, oh yeah, that person sucks. They want us to clean up our mess, and I don't want to, because that's not what I think anarchy is. I think anarchy is I get whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't have to pick up my mess or do my dishes. That's the thing. It's like that's like a common saying. I know I've said on my channel probably many times, but everybody wants a revolution, but nobody wants to do the dishes. So then, how do we approach creating infrastructures? I guess I was talking to my friend last night about consenting socialism, and at first I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means, man, and I don't know if that's like the proper word for it or whatever, or if that's like their own concept, but basically like the same concept as the library camp when I was running it. It's being run different now, obviously, but because I'm not there. It's Aurora's house now, but and Flamingo Camp, where like people choose to be there, and when you choose to be in this collective space, you are consenting to certain social expectations, certain rules of engagement, and certain boundaries, because like you don't have to be there. Nobody asked you to be there. You asked to be there. Nobody begged me to come and work on this space. I saw an amazing collection and resources here, and I wanted in. So I started helping out. And like when I first came in, I would ask other people that have been here longer, like, what can I do? What needs to be done? What are some active projects? You know, what are we working on? And now that I've been here a while and I know how things kind of go, I feel more comfortable letting other people know where we're at, and speaking up about issues that I see, and kind of spearheading other projects. Not everybody wants to be in that role either, and that's totally cool. Nobody, like, that's the thing. Like, people shouldn't be forced into a position that they don't consent to. But also, when you do put yourself in certain positions, you do consent to performing certain tasks and certain roles within your community. And if any of you have any experience in anarchist collectives, feel free to leave a comment or, you know, in chat, etc. I want to see some of these deleted messages from these fucking wingnuts. This is hilarious. Okay. I'm just taking a little break to see this fucking troll. Why? What? Ew. Gross. What a weirdo. Yeah, is that person fucking banned? I don't see why they wouldn't be banned immediately. Oh, they have different... Oh, I see. They have different accounts. That's funny. Okay. All right, cool. I'm just reporting. Okay. Yeah, feel free to report, like, hate comments too, guys. Because then, you know, banning somebody from the chat is one thing, but, like, if you report them for hate comments or something, or for, like, transphobic shit, then you can just get their account banned on YouTube too, and that's always fun. We can use less transphobes on YouTube. Captain Grimm says, I've been reporting that POS. Cool, fuck yeah. Yeah, sorry about other people's problems. Trying to make it our problems. Oh yeah, that's another thing about, like, in an anarchist space, you know, sometimes you have people that make their problems everybody else's problem too. And of course, I don't have all the answers for what you do in these situations. But I think that more people need to have the courage to step up and clarify boundaries in anarchist spaces, and not like I was talking about on my last stream about being bullied into silence. Now, obviously, on that stream, that was a much more extreme situation, of course, where it culminated in somebody actually getting murdered by another person, both of those people who were staying in the same space. But it can be to a much that's like fucking, you know, on the spectrum of where unchecked behavior goes, that's like way on the far fucking like worst case scenario fucking side of the spectrum. But like on the other side of the spectrum, you just have stuff where like people just, you know, they might see somebody like repeatedly leaving the gate unlocked or something. Like in this space, there's a gate and it needs to be locked because sometimes crackheads wander in, or, you know, a police officer could wander in or something like that, or like, you know, unwanted people that could put other people in danger. And there's just been like, somebody's been leaving the fucking gate unlocked, like a lot. And it's putting other people at risk in a small way. Like, it could be in a big way, but for the most part, it's just like, you know, it's just an inconvenience because then somebody else notices that it was unlocked and locks it. And, you know, somebody could come in and deface some of the stuff here, or like steal shit from the yard or something. I don't think it's happened yet, but it could. So like, people are hesitant to mention it to the group because they don't want to seem like a fucking tattletale, or like they're micromanaging people. So that's like on the more benign end of the spectrum. Benign is like, you know, like somebody's leaving the gate unlocked, or somebody is leaving the fucking fridge partially open all the time, and that's making it so that the food isn't staying as cold and it's spoiling faster. And like, then that's a problem for everybody, but it's just caused by one person not doing something correctly every time. And there should be space for people to mention shit like that. Because like, to that person, they probably don't even fucking notice it or like care. But to everybody else, it's like, it adds up and it becomes a situation for other people. Like, the fridge being left open a crack all the time, like, that really sucks, because there's food in there right now that's meant to go to people that need it, like people in this neighborhood that are living in poverty, and they come here to get like eggs and veggies and stuff. And if the fridge gets left open like every fucking night, then that stuff is going to go bad, and then those people don't get to eat that food. And that's fucked up. Like, to this person, they're like, yo, I tried. I sort of closed the fridge, and now I'm going to fuck off and go, like, not be seen anywhere in the space, whatever. And, like, yeah, to them, it's no big deal. They're just like, and then they leave, and whatever. But to everybody else that's putting in the work, it's like, it's bad. It's super bad. So, yeah, like, community cooperation and communication are the basis of a functioning anarchist space. And if you don't have that, then shit falls apart. Oops. All right, let's see. Aaron says, I wish I had experience in an anarchist collective. Well, you know what? All of these things you can transfer to living in a household with a bunch of people too. Like, it's not just your own household is a collective of sorts, like your family. And, you know, a lot of you live in anarchy more than you realize. Like, most of your life is spent in like an anarchist environment and anarchist scenario. You don't have Big Brother like peeking over your shoulder, making sure your household is running correctly. You don't have the government moderating everything that you do. So like, when I say anarchist collective, you can also in your mind just like change that to household, like your family household with all of your family in it. Collectivism and cooperativism is that all translates. You know, if you live in a house with a bunch of other people, all of these concepts translate. Um, I'm just speaking in these terms um, because I'm trying to expound upon my own personal philosophy. And honestly, I'm trying to make sense of like what is and isn't appropriate in certain situations and scenarios. And like I said, I don't have all the answers. I'm kind of just trying to hash it out. And right now, I'm actually trying to figure out how I'm going to bring up the subject of my frustration with the undoing of my work in here. And like what is appropriate for me to say to a group of people and whether or not anybody really gives a shit. Because it's not completely obvious like how much involvement other people have here. So yeah, I guess I'm just trying to like fumble my way through my own philosophy. And if like one of my mottos is you can't argue with results, and you see what's behind me. This is the results of I would say is the result. Well, it's tough to say. Okay, so a little background. I started coming into this space in February. When I came in, um, this big shelf on the wall behind me was about halfway finished, and they're putting up more of the boards and stuff. There was no door over there and to come in, and these zine shelves were not in here. And like I said, all of these zines and books were just like in boxes and ready to be sorted. Um, some the books had been like gone through, like I said earlier, by a bunch of people who are uninitiated and were just like throwing books out because they were triggered by them. Um, and I actually brought in a lot of those books, brought them back in before they got like trashed or moved out. And there's actually more books, like a lot more books outside of this room that I would like to get to. But so the fruits of my labors are here. It's not been entirely undone. Like it's not worse than it was. It's not an unsustainable project. I just don't know how sustainable it is and how much I should care. Like what people want of the space is an extremely tall order, and I've expressed that much. They want they want a checkout system implemented, and like actual library organization, which like it's one thing to say that you want that, but it's another thing to actually accomplish it. And none of those people who have expressed to me what they want from this library have actually been in here making it a reality. So I've been doing all of the legwork on that, only to be having it undone when I'm not here. So, I mean, what's the fucking point? It can just sit on shelves and look cool and be disorganized. That's fine, I guess. But if they actually do want certain things from this space, then there needs to be like an overall understanding of how to get that done. So I guess the best thing that I can do at this point is like write up a pamphlet or like an essay, or I guess like a pamphlet kind of going over um, what I've done here and what needs to be done in order to achieve certain goals, and then just spread that information among the other people who are invested in this space. Aaron Alston says no library cards. Yeah, I'm all about no due dates, no library cards, baby, but that's just me. That's Slab City Library, you know, and I found that to be very effective because in an anarchist setting, asking for all that is like so much. It really is. Like pretty much, we just put the books up in their sections, and people can take them and they can leave a tip in the tip jar. They can bring in a different book to put in the library, or they can take it upon themselves, upon their honor, to bring it back, and that's awesome, and that works, and that's sustainable because like I don't have fucking time. I don't have time to do some Dewey Decimal shit and like hound people for books back. Like that, you know, if somebody else came in the library and was like, all right, we're going to implement an actual system, then I'd be like, fuck yeah, bud. Like, I got your back 100%. But like, I ain't about to fucking start that. I started that here because I wanted to try it out, and it's going miserably. To be perfectly frank, it's, yeah. But the thing about it is like these books, there's a lot of really good shit in this collection, but I'm not going to be sorting them alphanumerically. That would be a fool's errand. That would be insane. The zine selection, I have some very, very strong feelings about because it's such an important collection, I feel. And in like the man, as it were, has been trying to bury anarchist literature and philosophy since it was born. And I don't want to make their job easier for them. I want to preserve this collection. I want to see it preserved. Like if not me, then somebody else. Like, and not only preserved, but distributed, and not like the original copies, the hard copies that we have here, because I think that there is a value in archiving these physical zines. But like scanning them on the copier and converting them to PDF files and uploading them to an internet archive where they can be freely distributed. People can download the PDFs and print them out. There is one such collection that does exist that I have yet to contact. I forget what it is. It's like the Anarchist zine archive or something like that. It's online. Zlib, is that it? Something like that. Yeah, I'll admit I haven't looked into it as much as I should have, but you know, scanning and putting like the only way that there's going to be like categorization and a way like a checkout system of the zines at least is by doing that, because we can't be having people taking these physical zines out of here because they're going to disappear. Maybe not all of them, but they're going to fucking disappear. And even if they don't disappear, they're going to get weathered. They're going to get trashed. Some of these are from like the 60s. And yeah, I think the earliest one I've seen was like 1963 or something. And they're pieces of history. They're not something that should be like sitting in a stack on somebody's coffee table under a fucking ramen bowl, you know? Like that's, yeah. So I guess I need to write up an actual fucking proposition and like just outline of goals for this space and see who is on board and how we can have some accountability for maintaining the space so that it doesn't fall apart. Or we need to have like a full-time real librarian come in here and like be here every day in the space. It's not going to be me. I'm going to head out eventually, but I am considering being here through September just for this project. And I don't like, I want to go. What I want to do is fucking cut and run and go camping in fucking Minnesota until beet harvest. But at this point, I'm considering the logistics of sticking around and doing some like real legwork in creating some sort of organization, not just in the library, but in the collective space altogether. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at a crossroads. Yeah. But anyway, here, let me show you what here, let me show you. This is what I've been working on. I mean, I didn't bring in the computer and the scanner here, but they were brought in the last few months. The scanner is not. Oh, I got some shit that I was already scanning. Whoa, is that one of mine? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think this might belong in my shit. I'm just gonna put this right here. Hope I don't have a missing page in my fucking CCG. Okay. Now, if you know, you know. That was the first thing that I fucking scanned. If you don't know, then don't worry about it. Yeah, so then we've got this. So we can go over here and grab some of these zines and scan them to here. I still haven't figured out how to get them to convert directly to files on the computer. And the problem with the computer is that it has pretty much no fucking memory. We need some more memory on this shit. But yeah, I mean, all the components are here aside from another hard drive, internal hard drive in the computer, something big. But I've also, let's turn this bad bitch on. I've also written up kind of a overview of what's going on in the library. I call it the librarian's log. Oops, that's not plugged in. Come on, fucker. I'm pretty much trying to lay some groundwork so that this can be sustainable. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just like farting into the wind here, but yeah, we're fucking around. We're finding out, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, while I'm waiting for this to boot up, if you would like to donate to the cause, anything that you donate today, or like basically always, but especially today, anything that you want to donate, I will personally put back into resources to enrich this library space. A lot of people like to talk a lot of shit on me and they think that I'm doing like really good for myself or something, but like literally I would be a lot more stressed out today if a kind person that knew Poe hadn't put a little bit of Skrilla. I'm gonna be transparent. They put $200 in my fucking in my PayPal yesterday as thanks for my coverage, even though I asked people not to give me money for the stream. So if it wasn't for that, I would literally be flat broke right now. So yeah, I'm not a rich person. I do not have a trust fund. And yeah, pretty much, I haven't had more than $300 in my bank account since I think since Beet Harvest last year, honestly. So that being said, I don't have some like magical fucking money tree that I'm drawing off of. If you would like to throw down, that would be amazing, and it will not go to waste. It will not be taken for granted. Yeah. So thanks. Anyway, so I got this pulled up. Oh, I almost just went at it like it's a touch screen. Jesus Christ, I've been spending too much time on my fucking phone. All right, let's take a look. I don't want to put shit on blast too much, but there's really no sensitive information on here currently. There is sensitive information on here, but not like visible right now. So we got the librarian's log, which is another one of my little pet projects that I've been starting here. And other people have spoken about, putting together like sorting of like programs to sort the books and the materials here that librarians use for like checkout systems and stuff. It's like, but we honestly can't even hope to get to that point if we can't even keep shit sorted. So it's yeah. If you're continuing a project listed, please update the status, blah, blah, blah. There's the goals of the space, daily, weekly chores, things we could use, list of book sections in the library. Yeah, this is what I've been working on. I've been, it's a thing. So then there's ongoing projects, and then there's kind of like a protocol how to do it. Now, I don't know if anyone will actually use this, but if they do, then my faith will be restored in the sustainability of this project. If they do not, then I'm going to have to rethink my entire philosophy, to be perfectly frank. So, yeah, all I can do is put out the infrastructure, and if people actually put forth the effort instead of just like playing house or like, you know, and when I say playing house, I mean like they're like I see it in a lot of spaces where people pretend to be part of a functioning collective and, you know, play the parts of all that and perform when people are watching, but then they don't actually, oh, hey, there's my postscript. Okay. But when it gets tricky, or when there's actually responsibility to be taken, then yeah, they just dip. And yeah, and that sucks. It's the undoing of so many spaces that I've been involved with. So yeah, that's where I'm at, trying to figure out if I want to stay here another month and bust ass on the library, or if I want to cut and run like everybody else. I don't know. I guess I don't feel like, I know there's a certain amount of like personal responsibility. Like if I choose to stay here and work on the space, I'm not trying to like play a martyr or something and be like, oh, I sacrificed so much time to blah, 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 bring you this shit. Cause like literally nobody asked me to do this. People appreciate it for sure. But you know, I'm not going to fucking beat people over the head about something that they didn't even fucking care about in the first place. So yeah, that's kind of a metaphor for fucking anarchist spaces, kind of a metaphor for like interpersonal relations and social hierarchy and roles. So, yeah, just some things to think about. I just wanted to fucking vent a little bit and organize my thoughts. So I'm just gonna kind of. That's about all I had to say on that topic for today. I'm just gonna catch up in chat here and see what other people are saying. Making my way in America is saying some ignorant shit out of their asshole. So yeah, obviously you would be a terrible person to have in a collective. So you can just your opinion means nothing to me. Joe King is asking, have I researched the Dewey Decimal System? Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my god. See, it's people like that that fucking piss me off. Okay, I literally just spent the last hour talking about how in order for there to be a fucking categorization of these materials, that first it needs to be sorted and organized alphanumerically into genres. So, yeah, I'm familiar with the fucking Dewey Decimal System, bro. Oh my fucking god. Could you insult me anymore? Holy shit. Why don't you come in here and implement the Dewey Decimal System? Oh my god. Do you understand how much work it is? Do you know how many fucking books there are in here? I'd say probably around 3,000 books here, and I'd say easily 5,000 zines here, I would say. How many... Okay, I'm gonna calm down. How to trigger a librarian. Ask them if they're familiar with the Dewey Decimal System. No. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. I legit had like a fucking straight up meltdown yesterday when I realized that fucking some people that were uninitiated with this space came in and started moving shit around. When people come in here at all, they want to take like one thing off the shelf. Anybody who's worked in a library knows how fucking stressful it is because you are watching those people go up. They don't realize what they're doing. They just come in like a child picking up a toy out of a sandbox, and you're sitting there like, that fucking book goes right there between number 113.2 and 113.4 or 4, whatever. Yeah, and you're like, it goes right there. And then you watch them pick it up, leaf through it, set it down, book open, face down on a table for like 2 hours, come back to it, fucking leaf through it, and then put it in a different spot on the shelf. If that's you, don't put it back on the shelf. If you don't remember where it goes, put it in the fucking returns bin, because that makes so much less work. Because otherwise, you put it in a different spot, then somebody has to go remove it from that spot and put it back in the regular spot, which means they have to find it in the incorrect spot and then find its correct spot. And that takes, that takes a few minutes each time. Now, if you've got a fuck ton of people in the library and they're all doing that, that adds up a lot. That's like hours of your day undoing the chaos that people are doing. Librarians are the liminal space between chaos and order, and it's a constant fucking battle. So yeah, don't think that you know better than a person who spends their fucking life, whose career it is to be a librarian. Don't think you know better than them where things go. That's a fallacy. That's a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm struggling to find the word for it. It's yeah, I can't remember what the word specifically for it is. It'll come to me later, like I'm sure 2 hours after the stream, and I'll be like, that's the thing I should have said. Yeah, in layman's terms, it's fucking annoying and inconsiderate and just like kind of narcissistic on your end or the person's end who's doing this, because they like just they're like, oh, I think this would look nice if I set it up with here. I'll show you what some people do. Some people will come into the library in slabs or wood, and they would like, they would be over and be like, wow, this is a really good book. I'm not gonna read it, but somebody should read it because this is a really good book. Somebody should be reading this. I have impeccable taste in literature. I'm not gonna read this though, but somebody should read this. So I'm gonna put this over here like this, so that the right person will come and see this book that I think is very important, and so that somebody else will see that and they'll read it because they should, and they'll just do that. So like you get a number of people and they're like, wow, this happens like a few times a day when you have a lot of people in the library, and then they'll be like, that's where that book belongs. That's where that book belongs, because somebody should read it, not me. But my taste in books is impeccable, so I'm gonna put it on display there, in the wrong section, face out. Do that shit all the time. Don't do that. Stop doing it. Okay, thanks everybody for the kickdowns. I see there's a few kickdowns in chat. I really appreciate you guys. And I turned off my notifications. I turned off my PayPal and Venmo notifications for the Poe live stream. So on Do Not Disturb, so they're still turned off. So if you did throw down in my PayPal or Venmo for this this frustrating and beautiful and wonderful project in this delightful collective space with a lot of very talented people involved, thank you, and I will send you a personal message when I do look at your donations. This is last call if you want to throw down. Yeah, I don't know if the universe and everything is in line for me to stay here and things are going well and I am able to have these conversations with other people that are involved in this space, then I may just stick around here until harvest season. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm very passionate about distribution of literature and resources. That's what I did for the last fucking 7 years of my life in Slab City, and it was a thankless job there too. It's always going to be, and I've made peace with that, and that's okay. So yeah, if this is working, I'll keep doing it, but if it's not working, I'm gonna do something else, is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to fucking throw down and make it easier for me to continue my work, that would be amazing. And if I don't continue my work here, then rest assured I will continue my work elsewhere, wherever I happen to go, and I will continue to keep bringing you more content. I will be doing mostly daily talks about this sort of stuff, this kind of material. I'm actually really driving with it. It's working for me. So yeah, until it stops working, I'll just keep doing it. And yeah. All right. Well, I stole something today. I stole something from Walmart. If you're like sitting there ready to call the police on me because you hate me, like, you can't prove shit, buddy. This is just entertainment. I'm just saying this because it's funny. I can do that. It's YouTube. None of this is real. This is a green screen. Anyway, I stole a tiny bottle of some Ginjo sake from Walmart. It was sitting ironically on the wrong shelf. Somebody must have picked it up out of the booze section and was like, nah, actually I don't need this, and then put it like next to the Cheerios. And I found it and I was like, God wants me to have this sake. So I put it in my pocket. And yeah, I'm gonna take a little sippy sip with you before I fuck off. Cheers. Oh, that's good. Oh. Oh, that's good. That's a Junmai Ginjo sake. This is a proper ass sake. Okay. Wonderful. That's delightful. Oh, okay. That's completely changed my whole mood around. This is why I like nice things. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining me. And I really appreciate everybody that kicked down. I appreciate everybody that joined the chat. Please throw down PayPal, Venmo, join my Patreon. I will be putting up a new post. I know I said that last time and then I didn't. I'm not pointing fingers, but Patreon makes it really difficult. Every time I've started to, not making excuses, but it's very frustrating. Every time I have written up like kind of a journal entry with pictures on it, and then I go to submit it, and it says there's an error, there's something wrong, we can't upload your pictures, and then you hit retry, and it says the same thing, and then you hit retry, it says the same thing, you hit retry, the whole app freezes, and you have to shut it down. That's happened to me like 3 times, and that's not your fault, and it's not my fault, but that's why. So, but join my Patreon, and you know, yeah. And also buy my t-shirts, join the Discord. The Discord is fucking lit. If you're not in the Discord and you consider yourself a fan, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's where all the cool kids are. So get in it. And I'm gonna fuck off proper because I have a lot of shit to do. Nobody told me to do it. I'm just gonna do it though. I have a lot of it to do. Yeah, there's nobody in the other room saying, "Hey, Cornelius, get back to work." Like, that's me. I got my own boss in my head, and that's anarchy, baby. All right, I'm gonna fuck off. See you later. Bye.